guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to film a look for you guys today that's kind of an easy on-the-go look. If you're in a hurry, you can just throw it on and go, and it looks really great on just about everybody. It's one of those looks, it's kind of like my go-to look if I'm running out the door, but I'm like, I don't really want to go without makeup. We're just going to jump right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please make sure to subscribe my channel. The button's just right there. Just make sure you click it. It's red. Just click that button. And then make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Alright, so with this look, I'm also going to be using a bunch of different products. A bunch of new products too. Ones that I've never used before. So we're going to give those a test out as well. And then also kind of like my go-to eye look. So I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty foundation. I've heard that it's really good full coverage. I'm not sure my shade in this foundation, so I just grabbed two that kind of looks similar. And then I've also got drops to where if it's too light or too dark, I can also, you know, just add those and kind of darken it up or lighten it up, whichever I need to do. So that's why I only grabbed two. Instead of using my favorite Morphe brush, I'm going to use the Tarte Holiday Edition brush. It feels close to the same as the Morphe brush. It's not as dense. This is my go-to foundation brush, so I'm kind of hoping this one's pretty close to it. It's super pretty. The handle is just really pretty on it, but this is their Holiday Edition. So to prime my face, I am going to use the Urban Decay Un-De-Slick Complexion Primer. It's Shine Control, Pore Minimizing, and Mattifying. It's supposed to also help with the oiliness, and I'm super oily kind of like in this area, so I'm only going to apply this in that area. I may have gotten a little bit too much on my finger. It doesn't seem like it takes a whole lot. And usually I do my eyes first, but today I thought I'd do my foundation first and then go in with my eyes. The rest of my face I'm going to go in with the Marc Jacobs Invisible Undercover Primer. This is a really good primer too, and it also doesn't take a whole lot, and it kind of feels very mattifying. So this one may do the exact same thing as the other one. Now that we have our primer on, we're going to go in with our foundation. Like I said, I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty today and just kind of see. And 300 doesn't look like it'll be super dark. It may work just fine, honestly. I'm going to put a little bit of 260 on the back of my hand and just kind of compare. This one's 260 and this one's 300. The 260 seems kind of watery compared to the 300. And this might be too light. So maybe mixing both of them together will get the perfect shade. Hopefully. We'll see. I'm going to take the Too Faced Peach Mist and just spray my brush with that. Like I said, I feel like spraying my brush kind of gives you that luminous effect, but it also seems to help the product go further. And I think mixing those two shades together is perfect. This foundation doesn't feel real heavy on my skin. It's really light, honestly. Some foundations can be like super heavy and you can just feel like the cakiness of it. This, I definitely don't feel that at all. So, and this brush is working pretty well. Now that we have our foundation on, I feel like it's very full coverage. I definitely like the coverage of it. It is not real heavy. It's not real thick. Okay, so now that we have the foundation on, we're going to go in with our concealer. I'm going to use the MAC Pro Longwear concealer. So just a little bit on the back of my hand. I like it. It is, I'd say one of my top concealers. It's just really expensive, so I do not use it a lot. When I first bought it, I was using it every day. So, and then I kind of quit wearing it whenever I found the Urban Decay Naked Concealer and then the Tarte Shape Tape. So now we're back to the MAC concealer. So I just kind of like to switch them up because they're all three really good concealer. So I'm just gonna dab it underneath my eyes and a little on my eyelids. Alright, so now that we have that on there, we're just gonna go in with our beauty blender and blend that all out. I am trying this one from Sephora. It's the Cake and Bake beauty blender. So we're gonna try this one today. Okay, nope. Not a fan of that one. It's really hard. So I'm sure for baking, it'd be great. But for blending, no. I usually do my concealer first and then foundation. Today I thought I'd kind of switch that up and put the foundation and then concealer on top of it. It doesn't really matter. It's a personal preference and it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to apply it. That's the joy of makeup, is you can do what you want with it. So now that we have our concealer on, we are just going to set our under eyes. Going in again with my Revolution banana powder. Definitely want to put that over the eyelids to give our eyeshadow a nice base. Instead of it being tacky from the concealer, and you don't want it to break up. So having that layer of powder down just definitely sets it, and it makes it easier to blend out your shadows. We have two different brands of eyeshadows we're going to use today. One is my Custom Z palette, and these are from Makeup Geek. And then I also am going to use some MAC eyeshadows as well. I don't have a lot of MAC eyeshadows. I don't have a lot of MAC products. But there are certain shadows of theirs that I really, really like. And to their website, and you order the refill pans, kind of like these, that are magnetic, and you just kind of pop them in a Z palette. They're $6 for an eyeshadow, which is pretty cheap. So I do have this MAC palette that I got the same time I got that concealer. So it's been 2-3 years ago, something like that. I don't really use all the colors in this palette. There's one that I use, and it's Saddle, and it's just a very pretty brown, and that's the only color I've ever used in this palette, which is this one right here. Taking our MAC Fluffy brush, this is the 224 brush. I am going to go in with the Makeup Geek, and I am going to pick up, let's see what color is it? Peach Smoothie, and we're just going to dust that all over our lid, basically, and our crease. This is a really great transition shade just because it is, you know, kind of like a nude color, and it's also just so easy. These Makeup Geek eyeshadows are so easy to work with. I love them. I do forget about them. Like I said, I have a box, literally a box full of palettes, and I feel like I just can't get enough of them. Like, I'm addicted to makeup. That is my addiction, is makeup. On top of Peach Smoothie, we're going to take another Makeup Geek eyeshadow, and it's called Beaches and Cream. And we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to put that on top of the first shadow that we used. And these are just super light shades before we start going in with our darker ones. So we have Beaches and Cream and Peach Smoothie on, and those are by Makeup Geek. And then I'm going to take some translucent powder, and I am going to stamp my eye out just like this, if I can get enough on my brush. You want to take a pretty generous amount when doing this, but this is going to give us that sharp effect without having to use tape, because we do already have our foundation on. That way, whenever we go out, we are actually going to hit that translucent powder, and we're not going to have like a hot mess going on. So you can just do it in whatever shape you're going for. Since I want to take the eyeshadows out and not around. And then I didn't take it all the way to the lower lash line. So that way we could get our eyeshadows to connect when we go in with our pencil brush and we buff those on the lower lash line as well. And I just took that on this e.l.f. contouring brush. It's just a flat brush. A Real Techniques brush. We're going to pick up texture out of this MAC palette, and it is a matte, but it's also got like some shimmer in it, but it's not like a shimmer, it's more of like a satin color, matte color, but it's got those little flakes in there to where it's not like a flat color. So we're just going to take that texture color and we are just going to buff that in our crease. Going back in with my Makeup Geek palette. So on the Morphe M433 brush, I am going to pick up Cocoa Bear. And we're just going to take that a little bit lower than the other color. So dabbing it on the outer edge and then working it in. These Makeup Geek shadows are super, super pigmented. So you want to have a very light hand when you're going in with them, especially like the darker colors, like Cocoa Bear. It's kind of like a brown, but it's kind of got some red undertones in it. It's super pretty. And we're going to take this same brush that we put texture on and we're going to buff those together. And this doesn't have any additional product on it. We're going to go in with Cherry Cola and Bitten, which are these two redder shades right here. And we're going to take those on a Sigma Pro Precision smudge brush and really pack those colors on the outer corner. So you want the majority of the color at the lash line. And then you kind of want to bring it up into a V. And then you kind of want to flick it out the less you have on your brush. And I know doing smoky eyes or dark colors or anything like that, they always look worse before they look better. So you just have to keep going. You have to commit. If you're not committed, then you're not going to pull it off. So just commit. No matter how bad it looks at first, just keep going. Blend, blend, blend is the key. So we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. Then it's all going to connect on our lower lashes. We're going to take the same brush as we had Cocoa Bear on, and we're just going to blend that. And then we're going to take that big fluffy brush again and really buff that. So we have that blended out, and we are going to take that Real Techniques brush again and just really make sure that that outer corner is completely blended. We don't want any harsh lines at all. So we're going to take Soft Brown by MAC and go over it again at the top. We have not used this color yet, but we're just going to take it right over the top of all those other colors to kind of marry them together. So now that we have that brown script on over the top, we're just going to do our lid shade and coppering. I think that would go really well with those shades that we already have on. So it'll kind of bring a pop of color to those browns. So just on a Sigma Firm shader, the E57, we're just going to take that. And carve out our crease. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy these shades, because you can recreate this look even just using a Morphe palette or the Morphe, the A and B palette. They have pretty close to the same shades in them. So we're just going to take a small definer brush and we're just going to go back in on the bottom with the Peach Smoothie and the Beaches and Cream and kind of buff that in on the bottom part. And yes, that is a child. I have started babysitting at home now. I was missing out on a lot of time with my kids, so being able to babysit has really helped me be able to be home with my kids more. We're just going to take the same brush that we used to set our under eye powder, and we're just going to buff away all of that translucent powder. So, and you can see how it made that line right there, which is exactly what we saw on the same brush that we used to pack on those red colors on our outer V. We're just going to take that same brush and we're going to do the same thing on the lower lash line. And those are Cherry Cola and Bitten. You don't have to smoke out your lower lash line. It is a personal preference and what you're comfortable with. I didn't do it for the longest time because I was like, there's no way I could pull that off. But now, I don't like having my eyeshadow on without doing my lower lash line as well. Then you just kind of want to take a clean brush and you just kind of want to blend those all together. we're just going to take a little brush and we're just going to put a little bit of black on that outer corner. And then you want to blend that out because you definitely don't want that black harsh line. So this is the same brush we took Cocoa Bear on, and we're just going to blend that. Just going to coat our lashes with a little bit of mascara. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. So now to bronze and contour our face. We're not going to do an extreme contour, but just enough to kind of give it that look. Now we're going to contour our face. And I don't do like an extreme contour. I just kind of do a little bit. So I use these Smashbox contour sticks. We are going to take the shade Bronze. And you just want to do a stripe of your ear and go down. And then you just kind of want to pat that in and just blend it out. And then you want to take the highlighting shade kind of go underneath it, and then with our foundation brush I'm just gonna blend that in. You just kind of want to set that with a powder. I use a translucent powder on the highlighted parts, and then I'll use a bronze powder on the other parts. Take MAC Give Me Sun on our NARS Ita brush. You just want to follow the line of that contour. Our butter blush from Physicians Formula. I'm going to take that on an angled brush. Use the Anastasia Glow Kit in Sugar. And this is a gorgeous highlighting palette. So I'm going to take Starburst, this color down here at the bottom, and just highlight the highest points of my cheeks. I'm also going to take a flat shader brush and put that as my brow bone highlight. Okay, so now that we've contoured, highlighted, and done our blush, we are going to fill in our brows. We are going to use our Anastasia Brow Wiz. Pop on some false lashes and be right back. Okay, so I have my falsies on. My favorite are the Sephora collection in Quail. And then I'm just going to take this Urban Decay eyeliner in the shade Heartless and put that on my waterline. I'm just going to line my lips, the Makeup Forever Aqua Lips in 14C. This color by Kat Von D, it is called Saint, and it comes in their Saint perfume. Comes in this, it's got a perfume and then a liquid lip, but I absolutely love the liquid lip color in this. I wish this would be a permanent color. this pink. It's not real nude and it's not real pink. It's just like that perfect amount of pink to go with everything that we have going on today. So I hope you guys enjoy this look. If you do, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.